everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is a crafty edition. So, let's talk about my stuff. That's stuff. Alright, start over. Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is a crafty edition. So, let's see, it is November 5th. And I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I've been crocheting in the last month, or crocheting and knitting. I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I knit and I crochet. Sometimes I'll talk about also things I watch on TV or maybe some music that I'm listening to. I do also talk about books that I read, but I usually do another episode for that. So I just wanted to say hi, introduce myself again, just in case there's any new people out there, and just to say welcome back to everyone else who's been coming to watch my shenanigans, because I'm never scripted. This is just me blabbering on about the things that I like, and I'm so glad to have you all here. So let's talk about the big project, which is the B.O.B. blanket by, I feel like I am going to butcher her name yet again, Teresia Liu. She has the Passionate Spinner podcast here on YouTube. And she has this round blanket, and I'll put a picture up here of her version, because you can't really see mine because it's still on circular needles, but I am doing the border. Her border called for 9 or 10 stitches wide. I'm doing 20. Why not? And so this is all made out of scraps. I used fingering weight held double, but you can use DK or worsted weight held single, and that will get you the same thing. But these are all, that's why it's called B.O.B. I think it's blanket of bits is what that stands for, I think. But it's all just little leftovers and just concentric circles, and there's several different times that you change the stitch pattern. So, this is the beginning. You've got this stitch pattern, and then you've got this one, and let's see, here's another one, and then this guy, and then this last one here, which is kind of hard to see because it's the very last one, and then this knit on edge. So you're like casting off your blanket stitches as you're making the border. So this is where I'm this is where I'm at right now. I'm just barely starting the edging. So that's going to take me a little bit. It's also going to take me a little bit because I started another project, of course. And this one is a crochet project. Now, I'm going to put up pictures of the yarn that I'm using directly from the Breaking Yarn shop, because that's where I got this yarn, and 2 of them I have had for quite a while, and I tried several different times to come up with projects, so they're already caked up. But I want you to see what they look like in this game because they're so pretty. Now, 2 of them, she just put out these colorways, and so they're still in skein form. I just got them, and I just need to cake them up and then continue on with my project. So let's talk about the color names. This one is called Doghouse. Am I saying, is that right? Doghouse? Doghouse. So it's red and green, and my lights are really bright, so this is a little bit washed out. But red and green. And her skein, these skeins are dyed where one half of the skein is one color, the other half is the other. Like if you have the big unwound loop, half one color, half the other color. So this is Doghouse. This is a Breaking Bad reference, the TV show Breaking Bad. The Doghouse is a hot dog stand here in Albuquerque that's been around for 800 years. And their sign at night, there's a neon sign that flashes red and green, these colors. So that's her inspiration for this. There is, I think, an episode or two in the Breaking Bad TV show where that hot dog stand is featured. So that's one. This other one is called Jesse Pinkman, and this is based on the character Jesse Pinkman from the show. I think there was a few episodes where he's wearing a red shirt and a black jacket over. So that's the inspiration for this. These two colors are the newest ones. This is very bright, obviously. So this is green and yellow. This one is called, I hope you can read it, Vamonos Pest. Now this one is in reference to a time where there was a house in the TV show that was like tented, I think, for pest control. And the tent was this color, these colors. So there's that. And then this one, I don't remember the reference to this one, but this one is called Golden Moth. And obviously black and yellow. So McKaylee is super cute. She also sent me this mini skein. I don't think there's a name to it, but this is super pretty, and this is going to go in something, but super cute. She sent that as a little extra, and I am very, very grateful. So the project that I came up with, it's crochet. I am doing this particular project on an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters. And of course, I like my boy brand of hooks. And let's see. So the way that I decided I'm going to do these colors is I'm doing crocheted seed stitch, which is one row is single crochet chain, single crochet chain, single crochet chain, and then on the back row is you're single crocheting in the chain below and then doing another chain and then single crocheting. So that kind of gives you kind of this effect. See, so the chains and the single crochets are sort of staggered. So I started with the red and green with the doghouse color. And this is 3 rows of the color. And I'm just letting the colors pool and do however they want. But I'm only doing 3 rows and then I'm changing color. So you can see where I've also got Jesse Pinkman. So this is my thought process. I started with this red and green. Well, no, let's do it this way. Green and red, then red and black. And then I'm going to have black and yellow. And then I'm going to have yellow and green. And then it'll go right back to this again with the green and red. Now these are not quite the same greens. I was hoping they would be, but it's all going to work out. It's going to be fun. They're similar enough for me to be happy with it. And like I say, I'm just repeating the 3 rows of each color over and over and over until I get to however big I want. This is going to be a blanket, hopefully big enough to cover me. If not, then I guess I'm going to have to get more yarn. But for right now, I'm hoping these 4 skeins are going to do the trick. But this is probably going to be the length because this is longer than I am tall. I don't know what I was thinking. I just kept going and going and going on the crochet hook. So that's what I'm doing with that. And it's mindless. It's fun. I'm just breaking the yarn and breaking the yarn every 3 rows and adding a new color. I am being risky and doing a magic knot every time I switch colors. So hopefully nothing will come undone in the future, but I haven't had any issues with that happening yet, so I think I'm going to be all right. And yeah, so that's what I have going on. I did also get some acrylic recently because a friend of mine at work has a little dog who she wanted me to make a dog hood for. I don't remember the name of the pattern that I'm going to be using. I will put it up here, but these are the yarns that I chose. She didn't want anything too girly because it's a boy dog, and she also didn't want anything, she kind of wanted it crazy. She specifically said make it look like the old-fashioned kind of crochet. So I'm just using colors that I thought would look cool together, but it's gonna, and she's just said kind of make it wild, kind of like how she remembers crocheted items from when she was younger. So I thought I'd do those colors, and I'm just gonna, you know, do a few rows and then switch colors, and then do a few rows and switch colors. So that's fun, but that's all I'm working on. That's all I have done. That's all my plans. Well, I think you can see the yarn here for what I talked about last time, the other couple of patterns from Teresa Lou that I want to work on next, but I keep getting distracted. I'm always distracted all the time with new stuff or wanting to get back into something that's been languishing forever. So I'm all over the place. Welcome to me. Welcome to my little world. So let's see. I did have a little paper that had notes because I'm not scripted, but I did have notes. I put it on the floor. Of course I did. Let's see. So let's talk about a couple of things that I've been watching as I knit and crochet on these things. The Great British Bake Off, the newest season. I just watched Chocolate Week. Having a really, really good time with that. It's just a nice, pleasant show. It's sad when some of them leave. And I don't know why. It's always one of the ones that I'm like, oh, that guy or that girl is my favorite. I need to stop rooting for them because they always get voted off. Okay, and then I've been doing K-dramas. I'm totally into K-dramas. And these two particular K-dramas that I've just finished, I found simply because members of Stray Kids, the Korean boy group, the K-pop group Stray Kids, their members had done songs for the soundtracks of these shows. So the first one is called Genie Make a Wish, and the song is called Genie. And this one is involving the members Han, Felix, and Ian. And it is like it's like a rock, like a rock vibe, but also maybe a little bit of like Bollywood style music. I don't know how to explain, but it's so fun, and I didn't know that I needed them to be singing in a rock type of song. And so the song was great, and I loved the show Genie Make a Wish. It was so fun. It is about a genie 1,000 years ago, or almost 1,000 years ago. He had been in this, well, more than 1,000 years ago, but he had been in this kind of war with other genies against these angels, because the genies had decided that they did not like the fact that the creator had said genies are always going to be bowing to the humans that the creator had made, and the genies just felt like, no, humans do not deserve that kind of reverence, and I'm going to prove to you that they are all corruptible. So he would go and grant wishes in such a way that would make that person who is making the wish become corrupt. It's so funny. It's hilarious in such a quirky way. And, you know, because it's a K-drama, there's going to be some cutesy little romances involved and everything. So It's a very fun show, and I very much enjoyed it. Excuse me. The other K-drama that I watched was called Typhoon Family. This one's a little bit more serious. And this is, I found this one because of one of the soundtrack songs was done by just one member of Stray Kids, Han. And again, this was more of a rock vibe. And I'm going to have to put the name of the song up here because I don't remember what it is. But again, I liked the song, and then I started watching the show Typhoon Family. And this one is involving an older man, and he's got this business trading. And it's set in the 80s, 1980s. So, the clothing and the computers and everything, it's just 80s. And he's gotten himself into debt with loan sharks. And it comes to a point where he can't keep his business open. He can't pay his employees. And he ends up having a heart attack and dying. And him and his son hadn't been on very good terms, but his son was like, well, I'm going to try to keep this business going. I'm going to figure it out. And he goes through all of these struggles with the loan sharks and, just sabotage and betrayal at every turn. And it's definitely a more serious show, but again, it's a K-drama with some cutesy romance, and it is really good. Really, really good. So I finished that, and I was surprised. I was expecting at least a couple more episodes, but it just kind of ended, and I'm like, no, I need more. So who knows when I'm going to get the second season of either of those shows, but I had a really, really good time. So that's all. That's really all that's been going on as far as knitting, crocheting, and what I've been watching on TV. So thank you again for spending a little bit of time with me, and let me know if you are doing anything particular, knitting, crocheting, or other crafting. Tell me what you're doing. And I hope you have a wonderful month. I will see you again either at the end of this month or beginning of December. Thanksgiving in the United States is going to be happening at the end of the month. So when that rolls around, happy Thanksgiving early. We'll see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.